But after this hair's off, we're gonna rinse it and wring it out. Good morning. And the little kids are the ones that are gonna be turning it from skin to leather. They have the important job. The big kids get the messy job. Which is, it's good, everybody has a role. The little kids have lots of energy, so I want them to be pulling and stretching and moving everything around. Once it's done scraping, we're gonna check the inside, make sure all the membrane's off. We'll double check the outside, and it's coming, it's coming. You guys did awesome yesterday. There's different ways of tanning as well. There's bark tanning. So you basically make a big pot of tea in like a barrel with, it's usually alder trees, the nice red bark, and you soak that, but that takes months to actually get the hide pliable and tanned into leather. You can use eggs. 6 egg yolks has as much fat in it as a deer brain. It has the appropriate mixture of fat and lecithin oil in it, so people traditionally used eggs as well to tan. Boston and Julian are going to be able to do this all on their own in a couple of years. If you can get all the way down here, then we'll get you shifted out with Julian, and then I'll take a shift. Our deer skin didn't accept the tanning solution fully yesterday, so I had to rehydrate it this morning, and I'm giving it another scrape, just to make sure any tissue's removed. Then we can reapply the solution today and start stretching it in the next couple days.
So do you guys know what the final, like how we're gonna use this in the
I know what it's gonna be used for, but I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Oh, it's surprising. What are some things traditionally we'd use the hide for?
Well, we could use parfleche bags or envelopes, medicine bags, pants, shirts, vests, moccasins, mucklucks, gloves and mitts, belts. We would keep it as rawhide for drum skins. When it's like this, we'd cut it into strips and then let it dry, and that's what we would use to have our Red River carts would be all tied together with this, because you put it on wet, and then when it dries, it pulls nice and tight. Dog sleds would be tied together with rawhide. Snowshoes.
So traditionally, this would be the same. Would this have been the same?
Yeah.
100 years ago?
Well, they wouldn't be using a fleshing beam,
Right.
and probably not a metal knife. Maybe a metal knife 100 years ago. But they do this a lot. Like, they just do it in a big frame. They'd lace it up in the frame like we had it over the weekend to dry, or they'd do it over top of their leg or something and just scrape it slowly and methodically, and
Yeah.
depending on the size of the animal. But I do have extra tanning solution that I have stashed away
Yeah.
in case we ran out.
What would they normally use then?
They would use the brain.
The brain?
Yeah. So the brain has enough fat to tan the animal's own skin. And then we would put it in a pot and we'd boil it up and then mash it into that pot of water. And, oh yeah. But today I also use like at least 1 bar of Sunlight laundry soap, and just use a grater and grate that in. And that helps add a little bit extra oil. That'll penetrate the skin, and it'll help it also degrease it to an extent, so it's not a greasy skin or there's too much oil in it. But it's coming. It's coming. Slowly but surely. So we really just have the butt cheeks, that's what these are, and the neck to scrape. That's the neck, yeah. I know you guys have a good time when you're doing it. And I'm gonna get your hands on here again soon, but I wanna make sure this is prepped out properly.